Baltimore Ravens face off against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a Monday night thriller. This is the game preview episode. We're diving into all the details of this matchup in this episode of the Flock Rundown.
Ravens Flock. The Flock Rundown is the place to be.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.
Appreciate you, Ray. What's up, Ravens fans? My name is Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of the Flock Rundown game preview episode. We got a banger Monday night. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baltimore Ravens. Let's dive into the injury reports, at least as far as we know right now. I'm filming this before the final injury report, but we can kind of see who's going to play and who's not. For the Ravens, it looks like they are going to be without linebacker Malik Harrison and wide receiver slash kick returner, punt returner Deontay Hardy. Running back Rasheen Ali is going to be truly questionable because he was downgraded to a DNP on Friday, so we'll monitor that. And then Arthur Millette is also questionable. He's been practicing in a limited fashion, but the Ravens do have to elevate him, so I would imagine he does get elevated. If not, I think he's headed to IR, so we'll see. We'll monitor those situations, but I'm expecting Millette to play. Not sure about Ali, but either way, we haven't really seen him on the field. And then on the Bucs front, it looks like they're going to be with Mike Evans, even though he's not practicing. Their coach said that he did tweak his injury, but should be good to go for Monday night. And then the other big name for the Bucs to monitor is Jamel Dean, their cornerback. That would be a loss if he's not out there. He's not practicing right now, so we'll just see if he can get back to practice. Other than that, no key guys should be out in this game. Both teams are fairly healthy. The injury reports are pretty lengthy, but not a lot of key players are missing, so good to see there. They should get Rachaad White back as well. He missed last week. Not that they missed him last week. They went off and were able to run the ball, but I think Rachaad White should be coming back, so they got a little three-head monster at running back. We'll see how that plays out. Let's dive into the details of this game, which on paper is sure to be a shootout. I mean, these are both top 5 scoring offenses. Both offenses are just on fire right now. On the ground and through the air, the Bucs have been running the ball really well these past few weeks. The Ravens have ran the ball really well all season long, but the Ravens passing offense these past few weeks has also lifted, and I'm not expecting much to change. I'm expecting quite a bit of points to be scored in this game. I think the over right now is like 49.5, started at 50.5, so around 50 points. I'm betting the over. I think that there are more points scored in this game just because of how high-powered these offenses are. I don't see the Ravens secondary stopping the Bucs passing offense. You know, Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, those are serious threats. Otten at tight end is nice. They have a lot of weapons. They can get the backs involved in the passing game. And then also, the Bucs have been running really well recently. Now, that is what the Ravens stop best. We are the number 1 run D in the entire NFL. It's not even close. The Ravens are very good at stopping the run. We have an incredible defensive front, great linebackers, and we put focus on making sure that teams can't run the ball. So I do expect the Buccaneers to have their run game slowed down quite a bit. They've been running for well over 100 yards each game these past few weeks, and I'm not saying that they won't eclipse 100, but I think it'll be around there. I definitely don't think that they're going to be going crazy on the ground. If that is the case, then the Ravens have a lot of problems on their hands. But I do expect, as every week goes, the Ravens will make the Bucs one-dimensional. They will really slow down that run game and force them to beat them through the air. Now, that shouldn't scare you if you're a Bucs fan, because the Ravens secondary is their most vulnerable spot on the team right now, and the Bucs have the wide receivers and a gunslinging, smart quarterback who's able to deliver them the ball, and I think that they're going to put up some points in this game through the air. And the Ravens secondary is getting better. They have a lot of talent. I'm not expecting the Ravens secondary to just get torched again. I don't think that 40 points are going to get put up or anything crazy like that. But it would be crazy to predict that all of a sudden the Ravens secondary takes that big of a leap from the past few weeks and we just shut the Bucs down. You know, the only game that we really did that was against the Bills, and they just don't have receivers like this. I'll keep saying it over and over again. We struggle against talented receivers. Well, the Bucs got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, who have been going crazy. So I really don't see how this isn't going to be a high-scoring game, because on the flip side, the Ravens offense is rolling at an all-time high rate right now. This is the best Ravens offense in Ravens history. Now, the Bucs stacked the box quite a bit, so I wouldn't be shocked if we aren't able to run early. We've seen that script a few times these last few weeks. The Bengals did it to us. The Commanders did it to us. Teams have been really stacking the box. They also have a good front. Vita Vea is a problem. So the Ravens offensive line is going to have to keep improving and keep playing at the level that they have been playing for this run game to work. I think that this run game could get slowed down a little bit, but that, as you know, leads a lot of one-on-one matchups on the outside, and I don't think that any of their corners, just like last week, are going to be able to deal with Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman in one-on-one matchups. I don't think that their linebackers are able to deal with Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews in one-on-one matchups. So even if the Ravens struggle to run a little bit in this game early, I'm not stressing that. I think that the Ravens can easily just go attack through the air like they have adjusted these past few weeks. Literally the same game script, man. The Bengals game, we couldn't run early, went through the air, went crazy. Commanders game, couldn't run early, went through the air, went crazy. We're able to run again late to close it out. I think that we could see something similar to this. I don't mean Henry's going to struggle. Even the games that he was slowed down, he's still putting over 100 yards up. And I think later in the game, Henry's really going to be going off. We're really going to be relying on him. So this game would shock me if it's not higher scoring or at least a lot of yards put up. I think both teams are going to be able to move the ball. I guess it doesn't always lead to higher scoring if there's turnovers or if you're kicking a lot of field goals instead of converting touchdowns in the red zone, things like that. But either way, I see both teams being able to move the ball up and down the field. So let's talk some keys to victory for the Ravens. How can they get a win against this high-powered offense? First of all, we got to stop the run. That's always mission number one on defense, at least our defense. Not every team can have the luxury of doing that, but we have pretty much shut every single run game down that we've played this entire season. The Bucs are running the ball really well right now. They have 3 talented backs who they're going to probably rotate, so they're going to be fresh. We got to make sure that they're not able to get chunks on the ground because obviously that opens everything else up and then it's a nightmare to stop. So key number 1 is stop the run. Finish him! And then the pass rush needs to make Baker uncomfortable, get some pressure on him. He's a gamer, but he's also prone to have some turnovers. He had 3 interceptions last week. I know some of them are fluky or whatever, but regardless, he can turn the ball over. We've played Baker before in Cleveland. This is not a new quarterback that we're playing. We've got the best of him before. He's also lit us up in a shootout before. So, I mean, we've seen both sides. We know what Baker brings to the table. I think that our pass rush has to consistently put pressure from the interior with Matabike and Travis Jones, and then Odafe Owe, Kyle Van Noy, Ajabo, Yannick, Tavius Robinson. They need to be putting pressure on the outside and just force Baker to get rid of the ball faster and just make him a little bit more uncomfortable. I think that that can disrupt this timing of this passing offense. And then our secondary has to step up and play better, man. We don't need a shutdown performance. Obviously, that would be beautiful, but I'm not expecting that. I just need a few more stops, or catch the interception that comes your way. We've been dropping picks this year left and right, whether it's Roquan or Darius Washington last week. It just seems Nate Wiggins has 2 drops in a game. It just seems like the ball's right there and we're not converting on him. So if Baker throws you one, catch it. It's a turning point of this game. And the way our offense is rolling right now, we're going to capitalize. Those are the keys, really, I think, for the Ravens to overcome this elite offense is stopping the run for one, because they need to become one-dimensional. We can't be guessing what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to do next. They're too high-powered of an offense. We need to shut the run game down and then just make Baker as uncomfortable as possible. He's going to get us on some. Mike Evans is going to beat us. Chris Godwin's going to beat us, especially in the middle of the field right now. We're very vulnerable. There's opportunity for the Bucs to move the ball through the air. The Ravens just got to capitalize on a couple mistakes that I know they're going to make. Moving on to my X factor for this game. He's been getting a lot of hate. A lot of fans have been trashing him recently, but I'm going with Marcus Williams. I think that this is his rebound game. He needs to become the ball-hawking safety that we know he is, which he has been so many times for us before these injuries and inconsistent play started happening. Marcus Williams needs to find the ball, needs to play his assignment like we know he can, and this secondary needs to communicate on a high level, and we're going to see a big difference, man. It's not a talent issue. Marcus Williams doesn't suck. I'm even calling a Marcus Williams interception. Zach Orr said that Marcus Williams has had the best week of practice that he's seen so far. I really hope I'm right because we need it. We could use a big Marcus Williams game. I think that that is going to lift this entire secondary if he's playing in the right position and ball hawking like we know he can. I trust that our corners are going to keep improving and doing their jobs. We have really talented corners, man. Nate Wiggins and Brandon Stevens are playing good. Obviously, they need to get their head around and make more plays on the ball, but they're playing great, tight coverage. Those little things we're going to work on. We're going to get better as the season goes. Marlon Humphrey's been playing great. Kyle Hamilton's playing great. It's really Marcus Williams, Eddie Jackson, but our Darius Washington is eating into Eddie Jackson's snaps right now, so we'll see if that continues. Our Darius Washington could start playing a bigger role for this team. I think that he's playing better than Eddie Jackson right now, even though they do some different things. He's been eating into his snaps a bit, and we're going to see a lot of Marcus Williams out there, so calling a breakout game for Marcus Williams, X factor of the game. I'm even calling an interception. Let's go. Let's end it with a score prediction and some final game thoughts. I'm going with the Ravens winning this one 34-27. High scoring game. We talked a lot about the ins and outs of how I see this game going. I think that the Bucs are able to move the ball and put up quite a bit of yards on our secondary through the air. But I think the Ravens are able to force more turnovers than we usually are in this game and therefore get a couple extra stops, and our offense continues to roll. We've been scoring 30 plus every single week, and I don't expect that to stop. There's really nobody on Tampa's defense outside of their front that I'm super worried about. And we're running at a ridiculous rate right now. We're throwing at a ridiculous rate right now. Lamar has thrown over 300 yards back-to-back weeks. Derrick Henry's running for 100 plus every single game. I mean, this offense is hard to stop. Don't see the Ravens offense getting slowed down unless there's self-inflicted wounds. So I think the Ravens continue to roll, put up 34 in this game, and the Bucs look really good as well and put up quite a bit of points, but just not enough. The Ravens defense is going to get a couple more stops. That's what I'm going with, 34-27. Let me know what your score predictions are. Let me know some bold predictions. Who's your X factor for the game? What do you see happening? This should be an exciting game, man. I'm pumped for this one. It sucks that we got to wait till Monday night, but it'll be worth it. But that's it for today, guys. I appreciate you as always for tuning in to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy a stress-free football Sunday because we don't have to worry about either of our teams losing. And then I'll see you guys on Monday, and I'll let the greatest linebacker in the history of the game, Ray Lewis, take us out.
Ravens flock. The flock rundown is the place to be. My man Ryan has been a lifelong Ravens fan since he was born. The flock rundown. Nothing gets better than waking up and wondering how high we can fly. Tune in.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense.